Good morning and welcome to the show. And by the show, I mean the 34th edition of Performance Days here in Munich. My name is Stewart Sheppard. I am your host, and I'm here with my friend and colleague, Chad Leeder. And we are going to be taking you around the show, showing you the different areas, looking at what has caught our eye, and generally taking you around. And now, let's go. So how many brands have you actually worked with?
Full-time, 4 major brands.
Wow.
So it's been about 20 years that I've been doing this in the business.
Cool. Well, so here's the Innovation Forum. It's actually one of the most important parts of the show, and it's one of my favorite ones too.
Oh, it's exciting.
Yeah, there's all these fabrics that are innovations, but they're not always fibers that you've never seen before. There are some, but there's also combinations that we've never thought of before.
Right. The way they put it together.
Yeah, and there's one that I'm excited about that's just there.
Sure.
So this is one of the ones that I really like. It's nothing new in essence, but it's a mix of fabrics that we haven't seen before. It's wool with recycled polyamide. And the bonus that I find exciting is that it's recycled wool with a RWS standard and a global recycled standard for the polyamide. So it really ties into the theme of the show about certifications.
Yeah. Two certifications in one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you're actually excited about? Have you seen anything that you want to show me?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's been something I've been working on for a long time, and it seems to have come to fruition. Let's go have a look.
Cool, let's go.
Yeah, so here we have 100% recycled cotton fabric. One of the first times I've seen this commercialized. And so the challenge I've had is to get the softness and durability I've been looking for. 30% to 40% seem to be the norm to this point. So to have 100% recycled quality, I would say this is almost market ready. It's at a point where the durability is about where I'd like it to be, as well as the softness. This could potentially change the game in sort of leisure wear in those non-high active activities.
Cool, and how do you know about the durability of this? Just by touch, or is it from reading the description, or what?
I mean, it's all coming from the laboratory testing that we request, and so given that this is commercialized, it's likely that it's gone through that rigmarole to get to the point of commercialization.
You mentioned there was another one, a more synthetic fiber that you wanted to show me. Can you take me?
So really the highlight here for me is the body mapping aspect of it. I think especially for base layers, there's an element here of zoning for different breathable zones or parts of the body that get warmer faster than others. It actually ties very well into our bodywear section of the show. But for now, the recycled polyamide along with Roika elastane, and Roika is actually one of the more sustainable fiber suppliers in elastic fibers, is just a great combination. I think it's a perfect combination for this type of product. So while we're on the topic of seamless, how about we go check out the Bodywear Collective?
That sounds really cool. This is like only the second time that the Bodywear Collective is actually in the show, but it's really exciting. It's got everything to do with activewear, shapewear, anything close to the body. And it's another one of the highlights. Let's go and see Nicole.
Oh yeah.
She runs the thing, and maybe you want to ask her to tell you more about it.
Nice to see you. So this is my first time to see the Bodywear Collective. The interesting thing to me is the fact that I see a lot of brands that maybe weren't exploring this area now getting into it. So I'm very curious to hear your take about that trend in seamless knitting and flat knitting and all the body mapping that's going on today.
Bodywear is about subdividing the base layer because we're taking in intimates industry into an activewear space. So we've got subcategories. Seamless is one. Otherwise, shapewear, underwear, on-skin activewear, and loungewear is our new category where we can play with soudwolle and lensing and all the fun fabrics that don't need to be necessarily flat on body. This is soudwolle by Perfect Moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks great. I do have a question actually. So from a trend standpoint, I think loungewear, bodywear has also been high in Lycra, high in PU spandex. Is there a shift in any way towards mechanical stretch or monomaterial materials in this category? I know there's a compression issue with that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In swimwear, we're using a lot of four-way stretch.
Okay.
So one size fits all is very popular, as you can imagine, in swimwear. So Lycra Adaptive is really helpful for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially in more of the travel wardrobe and loungewear, we're finding kind of more mechanical stretch use rather than Lycra.
That makes sense.
Because we're working with natural blends.
Can you tell us more about the Lookbook? I think it can be downloaded.
It's the first time we're launching a Trend Forum book powered by Performance Days, and it is a snapshot of really everything you see around the forum. So it's all the best bits in bodywear technology. It's on the Loop and downloadable for free for now.
And the Loop is the Performance Days digital sourcing platform. So if you haven't looked at it, you should go and do that now.
Definitely have.
And I think we can go and see it over there, right? There's part of it, yeah?
Check it out.
So this is the Trend Forum book. Can you tell us a bit more about it?
That's our award winner. Our trend book is powered by Performance Days, celebrating all the yummy stuff in bodywear, and we've subdivided it into key categories, including grounding, which is all about bio-based fabrics, important for accelerating circularity, especially for underwear, because we can't get that secondhand, right?
Yeah, that's great. So if you want to see all the yummy stuff, download the Trend Forum Lookbook. We'll see you around. Should we go to the Tech Hub?
Let's go.
Yeah. Bye, Nicole. Thank you. So we keep talking about all these fabrics, but an integral part of fabrics is also testing. And right now we're walking through the Tech Hub, where James Heel has all the testing machines. And I think you mentioned earlier on, I had missed it, there's a microfiber testing kit. I think that's super interesting, especially with the focus that's coming on microfibers. So there's all that to see and more. There's a Martindale abrasion machine. You have one at home.
We do.
And then there's all this side, which is all about digitization. Here we have Visu, which is a digitization software which enables you to build products virtually. And we're walking over to see Nina. She's a virtual designer.
Oh, wow.
Hopefully she can show us actually what she does and how she does it. She's just there. Let's go and walk into her world.
Hi. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what you're actually doing? How does it work? And do you have a library of materials, or do you have to create it? And just generally how it works. And it'd be great to see, because I can see some details here. And I'm not the textile expert, and I'm really interested in what it looks at the end.
Let me show you some stuff. So what I'm doing, I'm working in Clo 3D, and you can always see the pattern pieces on the one hand side and then the final 3D garment on the other. So we can look at something really fun. Like I created this little puffer jacket here, and we can blow it up and see how it comes to life. And actually for the fabrics, so most of the fabrics that you can see here are from the Loop library. So I can bring them into Clo directly and play around with them and see how my garment would look like in real life.
Hold on, you said these fabrics are from the Loop library, so all these fabrics are actually physically at the show and people can find them?
Exactly. So that's super fun. You can just download them, get your 3D file, and then bring it into Clo. And so now we can see the puffer jacket that is also created from a Loop fabric and how it will blow up. Yes.
Whoa.
And so you can see here on the side, I have my little library with all the fabrics that I want to use or that I want to try out. And then we can see like a little pre-image of the garment. And then the real magic happens when we hit the render.
So does that actually save time from the standard process?
It does, because I can just do my samples digitally and I can just try out all the different fabrics without really having to sew the garment in real life. So I can try different colorways, I can try different textiles, I can see how the garment would behave with the different textiles. So it uses way less material and it's way quicker.
So there's a ton of information in there about the materials. Do you have any sustainability information available, like the environmental impacts of those fabrics?
We can have a quick look, but as far as I'm aware, we do. We have all of our little functions, and we can also see the certificates.
Certifications, yeah,
Yes.
that's right, yeah.
So we can see everything, and then we can also download the 3D data and bring it into Clo. And then we can have our little render here and see how it would look like.
Cool, Nina. That was super interesting. Just amazing to see how this works. Now I think we have to head up to the Trend Forum. You coming with me?
Definitely.
Cool. Let's go.
Bye.
This is the heartbeat of the show. It's a huge selection of fabrics that was selected by a jury of professionals, university teachers, people that work in the supply chain, and they've selected these 1,600 fabrics because they're interesting, innovative, different. And yeah, there's tons and tons of interesting things here, and it's really about sourcing these new fabrics.
And also what I'm noticing is the QR codes on every fabric. It seems like you can scan that and put that into a virtual database, which is super helpful for brands.
Let's see if that works.
Yeah, let's see if it works.
So you scan it, and then you can add it to a virtual shopping bag. So it comes up there, and I can add it to my virtual shopping bag.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it makes it really easy to track whatever you like or you've seen, and you can just get back to your office and ask for all these different things. Shall we go and see what the awards are?
Yeah, I was just going to say, let's check that out.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's one I'd like to highlight. Yeah, this is by a mill called Hemp Vortex, which obviously specializes in hemp. The unique thing about this, and something I've been waiting for a long time, is macelle, which is essentially a hemp-based lyocell. So similar to what you see from other lyocell processes, instead of using trees, they're using an ingredient that requires less water and has maybe more of a sustainability footprint. So very, very interesting material.
But macelle is made with what? Is it more sustainable because it's made from waste, or where does it come from?
Well, it's coming from the hemp fiber, which when compared to other crops does use less water, can be grown in different regions of the world that doesn't need as much water. So the farming process is actually a bit more sustainable in some cases.
Well, actually, you're standing in front of the one I wanted to talk about. And I'm excited about this one because it's just this innovative blend. It's wool with Cordura nylon. And those materials have existed forever, but we've never actually thought of blending them. And I think it's really interesting to see them and also to see that they're, again, certified. So we have the Responsible Wool Standard and the GRS standard.
Yeah.
If you or anyone wants to come and see, this is the heartbeat of the show, and it's just where everything is happening. There's about 1,600 different swatches of fabric that people can choose from and do their sourcing for the next season.
So yeah, really, really innovative materials. 2 innovative materials out of many. We have multiple award winners throughout the show, but again, very, very interested in everything. Like I said, you could spend all day here if you're a brand. Another thing I'm noticing is the footwear area. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's actually really cool. Although this year the Footwear Forum is actually tiny, it's been integrated into the full Trend Forum. But fear not, next October, the huge footwear area is going to be back, and so you'll be able to source again many more fabrics. But this is the part that is the integrated footwear forum, where we have again different fabrics, different types of leather and everything needed for footwear.
I've worked at brands that use knit uppers as well as faux leather as well as regular leather. Each one of these materials should also have an eco story, is that correct?
I don't know if they all have an eco story, but the ones that have a jury-like generally do.
Yeah.
And again, each one of these is different, so it's super interesting.
The skiving on that is really interesting. The patterning and everything. Yeah, very, very interesting material.
So you told me there was also an Eco Award for footwear that you wanted to show me. Do you know where that is? Can you tell me?
Yeah, it's just right over here. I find this one to be very, very interesting. It's a company called Step Zero, and they're making outsoles for the most part right now, and it's a polymeric alternative. It's not based on PU, TPU, and it's advertised as fully biodegradable. So anyone in the footwear industry could benefit from having a look at this, I think.
Oh, that's awesome. Maybe I can scan the QR code to see what it actually does.
Oh, that's a great idea. Let's learn more about it.
There, so now we have the description, the photo, the supplier, and I'm going to add that to my shopping bag.
Oh, perfect. And yeah, they're made from 100% biodegradable material.
Let's walk around the forum to see all the other parts, because there's about 100 different fabrics classed in each different category for each table. So we can walk around and see if there's anything that catches our eye.
Well, I will say as a outdoor brand, one of the main focuses I have is base layer.
Oh, let's look
So
at the base layer.
I would love to have a look at some base layers, if that's okay with you.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, here we are. Here we are. So one thing that I actually saw earlier that caught my eye was a base layer that contained close to 30% recycled wool. Living in New Zealand, wool is a product of our environment and the location where I live. So to me, anything wool related, but also customer expectations are that we have a wool product in our line. But how can we make wool better? Well, potentially the recycled wool. So let's have a look at that.
What's the feel? Because wool, I think of wool as a material that I don't want as a base layer because it's going to be itchy. So I really want to see the feel of that material.
Yeah, so we've been guided quite well through some of our vendor base about the differences in the micron size and the fine merino that's available to us. So you'll actually find that some of these fibers feel just as comfortable as a synthetic. So here we are, Textile Florentina. So it looks like an Italian company. Again here, 74% recycled polyester, 26% recycled wool at 148 GSM, which is actually a pretty lightweight fabric for having wool content.
That is super nice, and it doesn't feel like something that I wouldn't want against my body.
Right? Yeah, so it's surprising how nice it does feel.
Oh look, there's another one here.
Oh yeah, the 3D ready.
This one is 3D ready. So
Yep.
there's a tech hub in the other hall
Yeah.
where they have all about digitization and how that's influencing the market, about fabrics, about design. And I think it's a really cool thing to have both the sample here and the opportunity to add it to your digital workbook or workshop and be able to play with it.
Yeah, and as brands explore more and more into Clo 3D and other 3D softwares, this is going to be a valuable resource, and to be honest, I know it'll save us a lot of time.
Yeah, so actually there's a third fabric in the awards that I wanted to go and see, but you probably know more about it than I do, so do you mind like going over and telling me more about it?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Cool. Let's go. So it's this one. It has something to do with thermoregulation, but I don't really understand the technology, and I think you do.
Yes, so actually I was researching this before I came, and the Outlast matrix infusion coating is a new process. Outlast has actually been around for a while, but their application of the material has changed. This is much more low profile, and it really appears that this could be softer, gentler on the skin, create less texture, and give you more of a smooth feeling. So I think this definitely has merit.
It's super interesting because it actually feels cool to the touch when you put it against the skin.
That's that thermoregulation process.
Okay, well there's actually one more thing that we haven't looked at, and that's the Wool Forum. So
awesome.
I want to take you there.
Yeah. So how familiar are you with wool technology these days?
Not much, really. I mean, my focus was really technical fabrics.
Yeah.
I understand it. I mean, natural versus synthetic. I've looked at the LCA impacts forever and been in the middle of that controversy about the fact that wool gets a bad rap because it has a very high CO2 impact and all those discussions that are completely senseless.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to replace polyester with wool or vice versa. It's just completely different. So I'm definitely pro wool because I think it has amazing properties. We were talking about it earlier on. It's naturally hydrophobic, it's antimicrobial, it keeps you warm when it's wet, all the stuff like that. And I think the CO2 emissions or carbon footprint discussion is completely moot because it's not about synthetics versus naturals. It's about how much are you actually making, whatever you make.
And I'm fairly new to the wool topic myself, but recently I've visited some wool farms in New Zealand, and I'm converted. I saw the process, and I think one of the things about wool that's really interesting is just the storytelling you can do about where the source comes from and how they treat the animals. So in my mind, I'm sold on wool.
Well, that's good because we are at the Wool Forum. So again, this is how performance days work. The jury goes through a huge amount of different materials and selects the ones that are interesting, innovative, different, sustainable.
Yeah, great.
Let's go and have a look.
Let's have a look.
So I really like this, but I'm wondering what kind of actual product would you put it into?
Well, given that it's a 3-layer, I mean, it would be great for rain shells. What I love too is the option of having a plain weave or a ripstop. In this particular case, there's a ripstop, which gives you that outdoor look or the perception of more durable material. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of a customizable product, and given that it's a sustainable product as well, I think there's many options for this. Another fascinating thing I found about wool is that there's such a variety of alternate fibers in there. In other words, the wool has a lot of blends, right? And there's one blend in particular that caught my eye. Can we have a look?
Yeah, I'm excited to see these.
Yeah. So this mid-layer here not only looks like it has a high thermal value, but also contains 1, 2, 3 different fibers in it. Probably each one for a particular function.
What's BA or WV?
There's a lot of acronyms. So I think one way to look up what BA means, because to be honest, it could mean several things. My hunch is bamboo, but I'm not quite sure. Let's scan it and see if something pops up.
Let's see. Okay, so here's the app, look.
Yep.
And it says BA, PA, WV.
Yep.
And when you actually click on it, it says bamboo. So you were right.
We were right. Okay, yeah.
And the rest is PA,
Nylon,
so
PA,
polyamide nylon.
That's right.
And then we have WV, which is virgin wool.
Okay.
There we go.
Because when you said bamboo and nylon, I thought, well, where's the wool content?
Yeah.
VA to me, or WV I should say,
Yeah.
is only indicated when you look at the app. So it's actually a great tool to have.
I like it.
Yeah. And one last thing I would say is that we haven't really touched today on insulation, and look at potentially either blending or supplementing synthetic insulation with natural fibers. So within the wool area, there's 2 insulations that I think are kind of interesting as well to have a look at. So in particular, because we're coming into a spring-summer development season, this one here has a 60-gram wool insulation containing lensing tencel fiber. Again, a fully natural wool tencel blend of materials to give you that warmth that you're looking for without any synthetic properties.
Cool. And there's this one that actually got a jury like.
This is the Jury Like Award, yeah. And so we have 50% wool, 50% recycled polyester, and 100 weight insulation. So, and I'm assuming, yeah, recycled polyester, both by Imbotex. So kudos to Imbotex for thinking outside the box and doing natural content.
The feel is super interesting. It's something you never get your hands on because it's always inside of the actual jacket or whatever you're wearing. But it's great to see wool to go into these technical spaces.
Yeah, and in the case of insulation, I think another thing to look at is the face fabric. How does this wool insulation interact with the surface area of the materials that you choose, woven or knit? So a lot to think about it, but I would actually really say that playing with wool as an insulation or tencel as an insulation is something to look at.
That's the exciting part about this. It's that we're actually seeing things that will be in products in 2 years, but I'm interested to see what product it goes into.
Yeah.
It's like, I want that already.
Yeah. When you take into consideration the face fabrics, could that also contain the natural content? So you have kind of a story that encompasses natural from top to bottom, you know?
I think what's really interesting now is that you could have a technical jacket, insulated and potentially waterproof, using mostly natural fibers. Wool, tencel.
Yeah, exactly.
Excited to see where the industry's going.
Great future ahead. Yep.
So the thing that I like about, or I really like actually about the show, I call it, they have a strong why. People know why they're coming. They know they're going to do a business. It's not about having the biggest booth or the biggest thing or newest thing. And you can really actually shop for business. And there's a second thing for me that's really important, is that the show is free. So anybody can come. Big companies, small companies, students, designers. And I think this is really cool. I don't know how they do it, but I think it's really cool.
And I know the amount of work that goes into this show, and the fact that the expert talks, the themes, all of the different topics of discussion here are so relevant to the industry. As I represent a brand, the things that I have an interest in, the things that I need in order to solve problems for my business are all here in one place. So for me, it's just the relevant topics and the way that they approach innovation and having all the different hubs and platforms for us.
Well, that was a packed day. What did you think of it?
Oh, definitely packed, but amazing. My favorite part about this show is just how comprehensive it is. The fact that I can scan materials, I can touch tangible samples, I can work with the vendors face to face. One of the best shows I know of.
Yeah, I really like that. All the different pieces of the show, the Tech Hub, the Innovation Forum, the Trend Forum, the Wool Forum, they all come together when you go around so that you can actually shop for a whole product. Yeah, it's really cool. Thank you for taking the time to be with me today and to walk around the show.
Thank you. Yeah, it was my honor. Thank you very much.
No, it's a great pleasure. We'll see you again at the next show, I suppose.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
I'm gonna
have a
head
great
out.
day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
And that is exactly it, because the next show is on October 29th and October 30th, 2025, so save the date. But stay with us, because we have another video coming about the sustainability focus and everything sustainability happening at the show.